Welcome to I Heart Geek. And welcome to another episode of I Heart Geek.
Yay!
We are on episode 4 of Boba Fett, or is it 4? Wow, there's some stuff that happened. We got a lot to talk about. I'm Dub. I'm here with Griffin. I'm here with Tyler, and we're here with Kevin. How y'all doing today? Are we excited about this?
Oh yes, very, very.
I'm so excited to say that I was right on something, and that something being that I knew it couldn't keep up to that level that it's been at.
Sadly.
I enjoyed this, but it's definitely starting to see some cracks in the system. So let's get into it. Okay, I'll get into what I hated right off. Let's start with the Bantha. It looked like it was an extra from Labyrinth. It was definitely.
I thought the same thing.
It took me out of the moment completely.
Yeah. When he was walking and all you see was the antlers, I'm like, that doesn't look right. Too
and
shiny.
The smile on the face when he's feeding it is like.
Yeah, that was a little bit much. Yeah, I like how he looks all puppety though.
I like it.
It takes me back.
I'll agree with Tyler. I did like the puppet.
It's not that I didn't like it; it's that it took me out.
Yeah.
I
was thinking. Instead of that emotional scene, I was thinking more about it's a puppet. They used a puppet. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you can actually see the felt on the teeth. It's just like. Okay, so and that starts to show us. Okay, well, Boba Fett is not a bad guy at all because he's an animal lover, and that's why he loves the Rancor. And okay, so this is a little bit of forcing the issue a little bit. We're trying to get you to love Boba Fett, which you don't need to, but we're trying to say, okay, so he's an animal lover, and everybody knows the animal lovers are good people, and I felt like that's really pushing that a little bit.
He did kill the Sarlacc pit.
He did. Well, they.
No, but I mean, the Bantha is kind of that's his last little connection to the Tuskens.
Yeah.
You know, I can see why the Bantha specifically he would want to take care of it and love on it, but.
Okay. Yeah. And then the next thing I wasn't too pleased about was the early 2000s tattoo parlor.
You didn't like that?
If you got a tattoo in the early 2000s, late 90s, that's the exact tattoo parlor you went into to get some work done, and it was a little on the nose. With that being said, I liked a lot of the rest of it. But those two.
I
go ahead,
like
Kevin.
How the early 2000s tattoo parlor is good, but I like how it's so separate from everything we've seen in the Star Wars universe. We talked last week about the zippers, the music. We've never heard that music in Star Wars. It's a techno style, different type of people. I kind of like how it is separate. It's its own little chunk of the universe there.
Though looking into it, apparently the guy doing the mods, he's the bassist from Suicidal Tendencies.
Shut up, is he?
And I guess the music in the background was like a little bass riff from one of the songs.
That's, if you didn't know, Dub, it's Thundercat.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was him.
Yes. When he turned around, I was like, oh my god! And I freaked out because I was like, and my mom and dad were sitting there and they're all, what? I'm like, dude, you guys know who that is? It's Thundercat. And so it was really cool. Like, I thought it was really cool how they used Thundercat as modding people. And I didn't get the tattoo parlor until he was working on people. And I'm like, oh my, that's so sick. I'd never expect to see that in a Star Wars.
Yeah, I like it.
Era. Yeah, it was. It was a little too like. I felt like I was watching like the Fifth Element or something like that,
or The Crow, or anything else. Yeah,
but I was like, this is like this is the equivalent of a Star Wars tattoo parlor. This is kind of sweet. Like, okay, I never thought I'd see that, but
it was really neat though to see how he picked her up and everything. You know, go back to when she's like, I owe him a debt, and she kind of put her hand on her when they met Mando. Yeah, you know, now we got that whole story.
So I'm guessing that we're done with all the flashbacks now. This should have been the end of flashbacks.
Yes.
Sounds like
it. A lot of people are going to be happy about that. Yeah. We'll talk. Let's save the end. We're going to save the end. The end. Everyone's excited about the end. That was the moment. So let's talk about some of the other stuff that happened. What was it? What was your standout? You can't say the end. What was your standout scene in this episode? Let's start with you, Griffin.
The standout scene with me was probably the. Oh, that's really hard.
There was probably, a lot of good parts.
Yeah,
that you're gonna
there was. I definitely liked. I felt like the flashback, this kind of arc in this, especially in this episode, tying up the flashback scenes. Like, I felt like that was necessary. I asked Dad, like, how many episodes it was, and I guess it was it like 10 or something? Yeah. 10. That's great, because I thought it was going to be like 8, like the Mandalorian. Yeah, we all did. I'm all don't do a full. You don't need to do a full backstory episode for 8 episodes. Just a little nod and then move on. But
we already saw what happened to Fennec. We're good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's sweet. Give me backstory. Like, yeah, give me more. That's cool. But I definitely like the scenes with Fennec and Boba and them really like exploring their relationship, because I always felt like she was just kind of hanging around, and I'm all, what's her motive?
There's actually a lot of a paternal relationship there.
Yeah,
he's definitely got the same kind of father relationship that that he had with Boba in the first movie. It kind of feels the same way, which I think is nice. What about you, Kevin? What stood out to you?
2 of them.
Okay.
Two things. All right. The Black Kristan scene. We finally in the
Star
Wars
all
universe.
Wrong.
Told you he'd be back.
Wrong. Yeah.
We finally saw in the Star Wars universe a Wookiee ripping an arm off.
Yep.
Yes.
And
awesome.
That and the Rancor under the table. Whenever the Rancor reached up, I was like, yes, that's awesome. Those are my 2 scenes.
What about you, Tyler?
Well, there's a lot of little things that I absolutely loved about this episode, surprisingly, because it wasn't like an action-packed episode. But the standout scene, kind of one that pokes out in my head, is sitting at the table and gonna make them an offer they can't refuse. You know, it was very Godfather-y. And you've been referencing that a little bit in the past episodes. And I saw that, and I'm like, Dove's gonna love this, because there you go, it's right there. You know, and you know, it's showing that Boba's there to play, and he's got a mission.
Yeah. Now this is another kind of small issue I'm having with it. As much as I'm liking the whole gangsta feel with it, I don't know. They had the big meet around the with all the crime families, and literally they said, okay, well, for the rest of this show, they're going to be a non-issue, and maybe we'll get back to them next season. And that's what it felt like. I'm like, okay, this is going to either this delayed gratification or they're going to turn on him. There is no in between on that.
We'll find out, I think, coming episodes.
Do you think that any of them are going to turn on them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's going to be half they're going to turn, and then the other half we're going to be with them. I kind of think we're going to see them sooner rather than later as the Pike. Yeah. Yeah,
the shaved Wookiee people are going to be the bad guys, I think.
Shaved Wookiee people.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're called, but they look like shaved Wookiees. They have the dog face. Looks like a shaved Wookiee. Griffin,
I think
that just connected for Griffin. He's like,
it did. I was like, oh my god. No,
like honestly, a hairless cat.
Yeah, I'd like to say for sure, like a lot of people have been kind of like my uncle being one of them. He's a huge Boba Fett fan, and he was talking to me and my dad about it, and he was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how I feel about Boba being this warlord and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, in this episode, I was like, I don't know, I'm with it, but also I get, that people want him to be a bounty hunter. What I liked is Fennec is the audience. She was like, dude, no, we don't do this. Like, this isn't our job. We do the job, we get paid, and we go and move on. We don't settle, we don't do anything. And he's like, okay, honestly, that's been my whole life, and I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick of working for people like Jabba. And I was like, okay.
And that is something that this show has really kind of embraced. With like the Mandalorian, that's a regular Star Trek episode. With everything else we've seen, it's they go out to the place. This is Voyager, or not Voyager. This is Deep Space Nine. All the action is going to come to Boba Fett.
Yeah,
and it's. I think you just kind of have to accept it, or you're going to hate this show.
But you always have.
Go ahead.
But you always have, like, I think we're always gonna have the Mandalorian, and I don't think he's gonna turn full blown hero. I think he's always gonna be Mando. I think he's always gonna play both sides.
Okay, so since it's kind of out of the jar right now, let's open the jar. We all heard the music at the end.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, with the.
Oh, I thought I was the only one.
You know what? I'll tell you what's funny. Everywhere I'm seeing online, no one seems to have picked it up.
Yeah. How do you not pick that up?
My buddy called me up, super excited. Oh my God, you hear the music? I'm like, what music? What are you talking about? Just listen to it. So I wound up listening to it, and I was like, no way. Is that the Mandalorian? Then I listened to the ending of every episode before it just to make sure it was completely different. Yeah, it's the Mandalorian music.
Yeah. They played
by far.
They played it twice. Not that specific part. They played Mando music twice in the episode. Also, when he saw the flares and whatnot, went and found Fennec.
Now, the only thing that I don't want to see, he can get involved with Mando all he wants. I do not want the Jedi involved in Boba Fett, because that to me, that's the final straw of you. That will ruin Boba Fett, because Boba Fett can never be friends with the Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go that route. I don't think they're going to try and bring Luke Skywalker back again.
I don't think Luke, but I could see them trying to shoehorn in Ahsoka or
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. I can see them trying to do that, but that will ruin the character Boba Fett, because Fennec had that relationship with her.
I think that'd be a lot.
That would be a lot. That's too much.
Yeah,
but I think they know that.
I don't want this to be the Mando show either.
Right.
So I want him in and out. I want him to do kind of a Luke Skywalker thing.
But what's nice, not to cut you off, but what's nice is, like, I heard the music cue, but that's not what did it for me. They played the scene with Fennec and Boba on the balcony after the meeting, and she's like, well, we got a lot of money. And he's like, yeah, I could and he's like, okay, and money's not the issue. She's like, it could get some help. When she said that, my dad was like, some muscle. And my dad was like, oh, all right. So they're just going to go get a bunch of people. That's cool. Like, and I'm all, no. It's
the muscle.
Why would they need that? They're going to call up Mando. Like, they're going to get him
and all his friends.
Yeah.
Why would they bring up money? They could go get scoundrels. He already got the biker gang.
And now he's got the Darksaber and everything. So,
and why didn't we see the Vespa crew in this episode at all?
Oh, they showed some other counterparts.
I want to see the Vespa gang. I mean, that's
that what you want every episode now?
I do.
Yeah. You want your own Vespa show now, don't you?
They are my baby Yoda.
Sons of Vespa.
Yeah. Sons of Tatooine. There you
go. Oh, I am in so many ways. Now, something else I'm reading online, and again, I'm not super entrenched in the extended universe, but there's I think I read 3 or 4 articles that said that it's a possibility we might see a Darth Maul in this. Because as the Mauls took over, I guess, one of the crime families at some point. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. That would definitely crank my tractor a little bit. Again, I'm not entrenched in the extended universe.
Remind me where he's at this point. He's not dead.
He's dead.
No, he's not dead. He from Clone Wars. He's still alive.
He's alive.
He's like Spider-Man.
Rebels, he died.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a Spider-Man.
That's right.
Obi killed him in Rebels. Sorry to burst your guys' bubble.
Well, that's no fun then. Okay. Well, is Rebels after this?
I don't like. I didn't watch all of Rebels, but I watched that.
Yeah. Is Rebels after this, or where's the timeline?
Rebels. Okay, so Rebels is before New Hope, right before.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Forget what I said about
I wish.
One of the things,
there could be a mall. There could be one of the malls.
Yes, yeah.
Because
which is such a wasted, awesome.
Online, I was reading if you look in the, I guess in the post credits, there's at one point they play music that is in directly from Solo when they meet that one chick that was running the crime syndicate
the dragon Solo. The dragon queen or no
someone pretty prominent from Solo who was trained by Darth Maul, and they're thinking that maybe she could be calling the shots for the Pike Syndicate. And so and I guess word on the street is that she would, if you put a Darksaber up against her, she could hold her ground. So
wow. So I am going to make this prediction now that we're going to see a big battle by the end with Boba and the Pikes. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of that, Boba's going to win. And we're going to find out that that's just going to be a puppet for somebody else that's going to be huge. I'm putting that as my big prediction for the season.
Yeah. And that's what I was alluding to. It's just, the Pikes are working under her, and so I mean, we'll see. Sorry, I really should pay attention to details more and bring them with me. I apologize for the listener.
No, I'm trying not. I'm picking up the details and picking up. I'm trying not to overanalyze this show because again, that's why everybody that's online gripes about this show because you're paying too much attention. Mm-hmm. Enjoy it. This is.
Oh, it's a great show.
This is as fun as Mando. Period.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Mm-hmm. I will say for myself, I was very disappointed. Not when they first came out, as far as the Disney movies, the sequel trilogy. I loved them when they first came out, and then
because you were like watching, 3,
watching. Hey, stop!
I'm not wrong.
But
love you, Griff.
I was watching. Love you too. So watching them, I loved them, and it was like great seeing Star Wars in the theaters again. I did meet the last sequel. I was old enough for that. But watching them, but then after Mando coming out, I really wasn't buying Mando. But when the rumors were coming out, they're going to do a Star Wars series. And I was like, do a movie. Don't do a series. But honestly, for me, it's the original trilogy and then Mando, Boba, like these, even though it has flaws,
100%.
It's 100,000 times better than the sequel trilogy. I hope they retcon that and they just leave it alone. They don't. I hope, like when I show my kids the films, I'm going right into Mando after Return. Like,
well, like we discuss this every time we do talk about any of the new Marvel movies. They're better when it's just the series because the series works better. I think that we're onto something there. You can't the movies. It's time to stop making Star Wars movies. It's time because here's the deal: if you have an off Star Wars series, people will forgive it because it's just a series and we're going to move on. If it's a movie, it's become this canon and
forever.
Everybody hates it.
Yeah,
we can talk the whole last trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Series as a bunch of series, and it would have been 100% forgiven by everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's standalone. It's Star Wars content.
So this
I don't count it.
Let's have our original Star Wars, and then everything else is the extended universe of the TV. Yeah. And that way, you have this huge universe, and you don't mess with the original Holy Trinity.
Yeah. And I think they're starting to lean that way. It seems. I mean, with all the Star Wars content we got coming out on Disney Plus, and you have so many characters you can interject into these series that you don't have to worry about merchandise and all that. There's tons of characters you can make figures of, and and everybody's paying attention because when a new series comes out, when Boba Fett started, everybody was like, "Oh, you ready?
How many
ready?
billions of dollars did they sell of Baby Yoda?"
Right. Yep. Now Vespas are flying off the shelves.
Vespas are flying.
There's like 8 of them. Yeah.
that is true. I'd like to also point out the fact kind of along that line was literally when you look at the whole Star Wars trilogy now. I mean the saga, it's separate. There's 3 separate parts. There's Star Wars, which is everybody loves. It's great. the prequels, which people hated, and then now they're starting to love it again. And then there's the sequel trilogy. It's there you go. That's perfect. It's forgiven, but it always felt distant from the original. And then no one wants to talk about the sequels. Mm-hmm. But we have the prequels, and they're starting to get more forgiven. But why it is too, also, it's making, for me personally, it's making it feel more connected through these shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have watched the Clone Wars or anything like that. Not only Ahsoka being in live action finally, but this episode, that little droid that Boba was chasing after around the table, that Rat droid catcher. Is in Clone Wars. There's hundreds of different droids like that in Clone Wars, but they've never done it in a Star Wars film or anything like that. That was the first time they did it in live action, and I flipped out. And my dad flipped out too.
I love how that droid turned himself off, and so that he wouldn't get killed.
He self-deleted. It was interesting.
One thing that Boba is showing us, I think, is that you have, much like the Marvel, we always say, look at all the content you have to draw from, the years and decades of comics and stuff. I think somehow they're figuring out that just Star Wars itself has tons of content they can draw from, and that's what Boba's doing. They're filling in some gaps in some of the lore, telling the story. We got to know the Tuskens a lot more. And if they keep doing that kind of thing, they have plenty to work with, and the story is just going to continue to go on. And I think that's what Boba's really bringing to the table, showing everybody that.
Dub, was it a better ending for the Sarlacc pit for you?
Yes.
The seismic charge?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the greatest sound in Star Wars.
That was so much better than what they gave us before. And I'm like, that was honestly, that was so disappointing when we watched that originally. And now it's like, that's cool.
That was amazing. Boom. Great. Other than a lightsaber, that's the greatest sound in Star Wars.
It's good.
As soon as she hit the button, I'm like, let it be, let it be, let it be. Yes,
So what I'm trying to find. Oh, that's who it is. Okay, the voice of the translator droid in Boba's. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
That is Matt Berry, who is one of the vampires in What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
it's a great show.
His voice is so distinct. I'm like, he really is stealing the show for me in a lot of ways, just doing what he's doing. I think it's really amazing.
That little part.
Yeah. And I like his voice. I know he's kind of working on the C-3PO thing, but this is better than what I think C-3PO did with Anthony Daniels. Go ahead, Griffin.
I'd like to make a prediction, just whatever. If I'm wrong, I'll own up to it. It's completely fine, but I'll make a prediction.
What we do.
From the first episode, I don't do this much, but from the first episode, I felt like from him, I feel like he's very loyal and everything to whoever his master is, but I feel like there's a protocol within him that he's working it. I don't know whether that be the guy with the giant weave, I forgot his name. I forgot how to pronounce it mostly.
Oh my gosh, I'm brain farting right now.
Yeah, right? Something.
Bib Fortuna?
Bib Fortuna, thank you.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Bib Fortuna's dead though.
Yeah.
No, he is dead. Yes, he is dead. Yeah, but Boba killed him.
But he could still belong to the head. He could still belong to the Hutts.
Yes. So that's what I'm like.
Or the mayor.
Maybe onto something there.
Yeah. Yep. So
then if we want to kind of explore that for just a second, he wasn't there in the first episode. They said, we're going to have to find a translator droid. So they picked him off out of nowhere.
Okay. Yeah. Huh. Okay. True. That changes everything.
So he could be double A, but he is like, I don't know why I love this character so much. But
it's good.
This is my, kind of
it's Star Wars.
Understated character. This is going to be the character that I'm going to buy because that voice is so cool. Yeah. He works as a droid. Okay, so let's do our grades, and I want to talk our predictions for next week. And I'm going to start with my prediction. I'm not going to make any predictions. And I'll tell you why, because I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm so happy. Do you know how that is such a wonderful feeling as a Star Wars fan or a comic geek at all to have no freaking clue, and I'm so in for the ride. So I'm not even going to make a prediction this time, but I know you guys probably have some predictions. Let's start with Kevin.
I'm having so much fun with this show. It's such a fun show. I mean, I don't know. I'm having a good time with it. They're definitely going to start, like, as he's getting Mandalorian in, and as he's just going to continue to build his ranks.
Yeah, we're seeing Mando this week.
Yeah, and I still want to see the different districts. We're seeing the people in charge of them, but I would still like to even see if they're the same style or what. But
I want to learn more about those guys. I don't know if we're going to. But I say either it's got to be a complete turn or they've just delayed gratification for next season. I don't think there can be an in-between on that. So if we learn a lot about them, it's because they've turned on them. Tyler, what about you?
I'll be surprised if we get a little Din Djarin action this next. I think I don't know if he's going to show up on screen and you're going to hear his voice, but they'll probably mention him, reference him. Maybe they'll be heading his way. But I do think you're going to get a little more of those crime families. I think they're going to start letting you see how they're talking when they're behind his back,
Yeah.
I also think that you're going to see BK a little more because I want to see a little more of the Black Wookiee. I'm all about
Black
the Wookiee.
Krishan.
He has great eyes.
Yeah, black crawfish. Yeah.
He says more with his eyes than Chewbacca ever said.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, guys. It's a
great
fact.
eyes.
He's a better actor than Christopher Mayhew, like by a lot.
I forget who they said.
I don't know what his name is.
Who was acting as him, but he doesn't.
It is Carey Jones.
There you go.
I'm looking right now.
Shout out Carey Jones.
Let's see.
But I'm just hoping. I'm just crossing my finger we get to see more of
he was
the
in
BK
Watchmen.
there.
He was in Preacher. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of looking as we go on that. Okay, sorry. Okay, what about you, Griffin?
I'll say that these shows have done really well at breathing, at letting the audience, giving just enough, but not oversaturating, overstaying, anything. Good. So I don't think that if I am going to make a prediction, I don't think that we'll see Mando till the later half of the season.
That's fair.
But I honestly, I'm with you. I'm with you, Dub. I have no idea, and that's what I want out of everything. Every episode, it's no fun. It's no fun like being able to I get it. I've seen this before. It's like just let it be Star Wars. Let it do its own thing. Like I don't want to see a Star Wars version of Top Gun. Or I don't want to see like like I want to see its own stories and go in different directions.
Even like Mando, we kind of knew where it was going every week.
Yeah.
This one we haven't. This is a lot more like WandaVision. It's like you're in for the ride. It's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so let's give this week's grades. Griffin.
This week, I definitely liked it better than last week.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Last week, I really wasn't buying the biker gang.
Wow, we all loved it.
We're vibing with it, huh?
No. Well, okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe not. It was interesting. But I would have to say this episode, I did like a lot of the backstory, and I do feel like they ended it when they said he's fully healed out of the back to tank. I was like, okay,
that was cool.
They're close.
That was the way of killing the the previous story stuff.
Flashbacks. Cool.
I do like that. I'll say like a B+.
Okay.
B+. I like it. Yeah. I think it's a really good storytelling. I don't know what if it makes me go, I don't know what's gonna happen next, then sign me up. I'm good.
Very good. Okay, Kevin, what do you grade this one at?
I think B+, yeah. B. I mean, I liked last week's better, but man, it's still a great show, and you have to have episodes like this so that it creates something. So I'm having a great time with it.
Even as a filler, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler?
I'm gonna ride the B+ train.
Wow, I'm a jerk. Okay, yeah.
I don't think it was as good as some of the previous episodes, but it gave us a lot, and it was very cool. Filling in some of that Finnick stuff, and we'll see where it goes from here. I would have given it a B, but the plus is for that music at the end. So let's see where that goes, because I'm excited about that.
Very good. Okay, because they have set such a high bar, I'm on the line between C+, B-. Y'all know how it's impossible to get an A with me, so I mean, that's not a bad grade. But the things I mentioned in the beginning, really, with these shows, I love them, but I don't want to be taken out. And I got taken out, and that bothered me a lot.
Big old bantha tongue got you.
The bantha, the furry teeth, and the tattoo parlor. I'm going to like it more now that I know that's Thundercat.
That's why I liked it. It made the whole thing different because the music and everything. I was like, he had to have a part of that.
I had to mix my day.
Yeah, so, watch that scene again.
I'm going to as soon as we get off here, actually.
To be fair, we can't have elephants walking around in bantha suits anymore. So,
yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with what they gave you.
Yeah, I was just waiting for David Bowie to come out somewhere and be the Goblin King. Oh, okay. So go to the website www.iheartgeekshow.com. Go to the Facebook. Go to the Twitter. Talk to us. We do talk back all the time. And real quick shout out, rest in peace to Meatloaf and Louis Anderson, who are two just fantastic entertainers that will be missed. Until next time, I'm Dub. I'm here with Griffin. I'm here with Kevin, and we're here with Tyler. Keep on geeking on, guys.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.